Whoa, whoa! Daddy!
So we've had some pretty wicked wind come through here recently, and I have a tree over here that got blown over and broken. I don't know if you can see or not, but there's a tree right there in front of it. It's like rotting bad. It's got the spray paint on there. I'm not sure what it says exactly. Is that help or something like that? I don't know. But anyways, it's a risk to falling on our fences as well as our animals in here. So we need to move the fences around to get them away from it. Hopefully we can do it in a way so the animals don't just run out on us as we are trying to move the fence. Let's see here. So we need to move their fencing over to this area to pull them away from the danger zone. So hopefully that tree won't fall on anybody in the meantime. So see if we can get this done without anybody escaping nor the tree falling. First turn this off here. And actually here you can get a better view of the tree that has fallen already. That cedar tree there. And then the other one right beside of it, that's needing to come down.
You got a plan yet?
Kind of do. And you're needed for this plan. All right, so if you could do what you can to keep the cows and the dogs on this side of the fence, so I can go ahead and just pull up the other area.
Okay. Okay, let's get in here. Hello, Aslan. Come here. I gotta find your collar under all this fur. Come here. Come here. There it is. Clippity clip. There. He's not a fan. Oh, good boy. See, I'm not used to having a leash on. I'm used to being wild and free.
All right, now that Lacie has the cows on that side, as well as Aslan. Come on, Josiah. Come in. Yeah. All right.
Standing out here with my cows drinking my mad cow coffee. Kind of ironic, I think.
All right, phase one done. Got them closed off in this smaller section here, right with the hay and Lacie on the inside. Now it's time to readjust a new perimeter, larger area. Hopefully no problems there either. After taking up one section, it was time for the other. And I personally think it's much easier to take up the electric netting with multiple hands. It goes so much faster and it goes so much smoother, and it's a lot less likely to get tangled up when you have more than one hand trying to gather it up. And after rolling it up, I moved it and we unrolled it to set up a new area for the cows away from the danger trees.
Danger trees.
Yeah.
Really?
Good.
Trees of danger! Woo!
And I've worked with the electric netting for years now. Something probably like 10 plus years. And let me tell you, I think the Premier One electric netting is the best. We use it for the cows, we use it for the goats, we use it for the ducks, we use it for the chickens, we use it for dogs.
Children? Oh, wait, no. Not those.
No, not children. And it's great.
And as much as possible, I like to put May on fresh grass, but this time of year, we just don't have fresh grass growing. So hay it is for the winter time, and she also gets alfalfa pellets, sunflower seeds, and oats, and Mary Jane gets that as well. And a couple of months ago, we actually added Aslan, our livestock guardian dog, to the cows. He was in with the chickens, but that just wasn't his spot. He really loves the cows, and they love him, even though they get into it every now and then because they get jealous of one another. Because I give May scratchings and he wants to be loved on, and then she takes her head and tries to shove him off, and then he comes back at her, and I really say it's kind of a love-hate relationship between those two.
When we made that move, I was feeling under the weather, and I just kept feeling worse and worse. So we didn't end up getting the trees down that day. But another thing of concern that popped up was there was a dog just roaming around the outskirts of our property. And it became more and more concerning. It was a big, great Pyrenees, and we're like, it's not our dog. It's not our neighbor's dog. What dog is this? And with big livestock guardian dogs like that, some of them can be vicious. So I'm like, kids, stay away from the dog. And if you see it, don't run away. Don't turn around and run away from it. Just back away and slowly get away. So that's something that we were definitely needing to keep an eye on over the next few days. And I actually kept getting worse and worse and was pretty sick. And I actually did a video previously about my time not feeling well. But after a couple days, I did start feeling better. I wasn't 100% yet. I was something like 65, 70%. And then Lacie was like, we need to get the trees down. I don't want them to kill my cows. And I'm like, all right, all right.
I don't think I was quite that dramatic.
No, not that quite. But
it did need to come down.
You were concerned, and
yes.
I was like, I think I can muster up enough strength to start working on getting this done. The more I look at it over here, I see a number of trees. This one right here is not looking that hot. The original one we were looking at was the one that fell over, of course, but the one over there is marked. We also have some other things that have fallen we just need to clean up on. So before we can get to the most hazardous one, let's clean up around here first. Clean up in here.
I don't want to lift up this, Eddie, I would not want to lift up this piece because there might be a copperhead under here.
It's winter time, buddy.
What? They're in a hole.
And that's why I generally don't like to do these types of projects in the warmer months, Micah. It's because I don't want to have to deal with venomous snakes either. But it's cold. They're not out right now, so we're getting this done.
But it's good that our 8-year-old is aware of venomous snakes, because there's a lot of kids that don't know anything about them, so good for him.
So with the tree that the wind had knocked over, actually it was just a branch of the tree. The tree kind of grew and had like this, and that one part the wind just knocked that part over. And that's what was hanging down. And that part I delimbed. Another pole. And I tried to pull the rest of it down by hand. All right, I wonder if it'll spin off this way. What do we think? And that didn't work. So I think I have to get up higher or something and cut it off, or maybe just cut the whole tree down. But I'll come back to that one later. But while we were working, I told the boys, let's go ahead and clean up the area all around the danger trees, so that way we can work with those trees safer a little later on. And we've been needing to clean up this area because just over the years there's been a lot of trees that have fallen, some we've cut down, branches that have fallen and broken. So this was a good time to clean it up. In addition to my chainsaw, another tool that I really enjoy using is the Logox. It's a multi-purpose forestry tool that really comes in handy. And I like it so much, we got a second one for my oldest son, Josiah. And he put that new one together, and I used it to cut up logs while he used the old one to pick them up. And while Josiah and I were doing that, Micah, our second son, was cutting up all the small stuff. And even though I didn't feel great, we were grooving.
Dad, look how many I can carry at once.
Oh wow. Yep, good tool to have.
Yeah.
Saves your back. And over the years, I've used the Logox to cut up logs of various sizes. Smaller ones, medium sized, and even bigger ones. And I don't know, it must be a guy thing because the boys, and me too, we're constantly trying to test our skill and our strength, whether it's shooting a paper ball into the trash can or trying to pick up something heavy, like when Micah tried to pick up this log.
Hey Dad, watch this.
Look at you working those muscles. There we go. Be careful. Hold your abs. Don't lean too far back. Keep it tight. There you go. That away. Yep. Good job, man.
Piece of cake.
We must enjoy pushing ourselves as guys. This is what we do, right?
I guess. I'm not a guy. He's always been pretty strong. Like, we have video of him being 18 months old and he's helping carry firewood around. It's really cute.
Speaking of pushing oneself, I was not feeling 100% that day, and after doing all that work, man, I must admit I was drained. And then right then is when your brother Hazen came. And I was like, oh no, I gotta muster up some strength to get this going because he came to help us out with the big tree.
You've cut down a lot of trees around here, and I have faith in your ability to fell trees, but this one was a little different, and I'm glad he came to help because I had noticed a few weeks before this tree, it had already started cracking in a line across the trunk, and I knew it was dead. And dead trees are widow makers, and I didn't want to become a widow, to be completely honest. So I wanted another pair of eyes on the situation and somebody that could help that was also experienced in felling trees.
And part of me was like, I can do this. But then hopefully I've gotten wiser as I've gotten older. And I'm like, no, I do appreciate the help. And usually I always want to have at least another pair of eyes with me whenever I'm using the chainsaw. It's just something prudent to do. But with this tree and me not being 100%, I was definitely appreciative of Hazen's help. And before we worked on the big tree, Hazen helped me with taking down a smaller tree that was really close to the big one. And we decided to take down one more just because we saw that that tree may also impede the big tree from falling down properly. And after setting up our felling rope, Hazen was going to be the one to hold the rope and guide the tree, as I was going to be the one to drop it. Honestly, looking back, I should have had him be the one to cut the tree because I was feeling weak and just not quite myself. It even took me longer to cut the notch out of the tree than it normally does. Way longer, way longer. I probably should have sharpened the chainsaw too. It wasn't as sharp as it should have been. but I finally got the notch out. Embarrassing. That took way longer than it should have. After all the trees that I've cut down over the years here, I can't believe it took me so long to cut that one down.
That's how it goes with when we're cutting trees. Remember that one that you're like, come help me for 10 minutes, and it took us like an hour and a half to actually get it because it didn't actually want to fall?
So I cut through for where I usually feel like I'm cut through, and it still wasn't budging either. I was like, what is going on, man?
And then we're like, come on.
So I had to take a time out for a minute. We're asking the wind, asking God to bring the wind again, and I'm like, all right, going back in there. Trying to start my chainsaw back up. And then Sayla's, I can hear Sayla, Daddy! I'm like, what? And then the tree just coming down. And I was like, whoa, it just falling. Yeah, like that tree that I did. But together we were able to pull that tree all the way down and out of the way of the big tree.
Yep, go.
Then with Sayla's help and a sharpened chainsaw, those trees that Hazen and I dropped, we cut up. Then it was time for the big one. But this one we were going to do a little bit differently than we've done the other ones. All right.
Hold on. If you'll stand right directly under there.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's all right. If you'll stand right there and pull the chain to you.
Go this way?
Yeah. I want you to pull this way, and I will pull up.
Got it. I see.
And as they were putting the felon line up in the tree as the guide rope, I could look up and see the tree, and it's just going back and forth. And I'm like, this does not look good. This actually looks really bad.
So we were hoping it wasn't going to fall on us as we're putting the fail rope in. I'm like, oh boy, don't come down until we're ready for you to come down. Not yet. Not yet. And then when you do come down where we want you to come down at. Oh, it's wobbly. It's wobbly.
I just want to nudge it because I've already put some knots in this rope. Let me show you this. When you're doing rope work, you want nice, pretty knots. And this is not one I would normally use. Just a half hitch on a bite. It's not one I would normally use because I'm going to have to work to get it out when I put tension on it. But see, now we have a loop. I've got to get better at rope work.
He's got to get better. He's like one of the best that I know at tying knots. I'm the one that has to get better. Hazen's pretty knowledgeable about a lot of stuff. And we actually had an event last year, a homesteading event, where Hazen taught knife sharpening and tool sharpening at the event. He knows a lot of stuff.
And since this tree was so wobbly when we put the line in it, we thought, let's just try to pull it down with the truck instead of cutting it down. We think it would be a lot safer. So Hazen backed his truck up so we could hook up the chains. And then you guys connected the rope to the chain.
That's good, Mike. Let's do this.
Okay. So I'm gonna nudge it, and sis, you tell me when to go. Now, I'm just gonna pull gently because I don't want to break the tree or the rope.
Yeah.
Mainly, I'm concerned about the tree because you're on that end.
And at this point, it's like, all right, we're gonna do this. At least I hope so. Is the truck gonna be strong enough to be able to pull it down? Hopefully the rope won't snap and tree fall where we want you to fall.
Okay, I got you.
So I'm closer to the big tree, watching at the base. You're in the middle, communicating between me and Hazen.
Yeah.
And then we start to hear some popping as he's pulling the tree.
Okay, you got tension on it.
And Sayla was our camera lady, and I could tell she was a little bit nervous too.
You moving, Michael?
Yeah.
keep going.
It's coming a little your way.
He says keep going.
A little bit more. Come on. Exactly what we wanted to happen. Woo! It came down where we wanted it to go. The truck didn't break, the rope didn't break, everybody was safe. Success.
That's right.
I was concerned that the limb was going to break off. That's why when you're like, "Are you keep going?" I'm like, "Okay, you're the one on that end."
Yeah, first one, it kind of just barely in. I was like, oh, is the rope gonna do that? Thank you, Hazen. You're very welcome. Teamwork on this. And I was glad you got Hazen to help us out. And I was glad to have everyone else help out too. Because I definitely needed it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Hey, we've both done enough stuff to realize it's not bad to get help.
No. And we all continued to work together on a few more trees before we called it a day.
Cherry here, and we can take the little cherry.
So we got the danger trees away from your cows.
I know, but it was good because when you go over and you look at where that tree fell, it fell and there's a straight line where it cracked, where that crack was forming in that trunk.
Yeah, and if one of those trees would have fallen on the cows or the dog or the goats, it definitely would have killed them, or it could have killed multiple ones. So it definitely needed to be done. And after all that, over the next day or two, I eventually got back to 100%. But we still need to find out about the dog that is roaming around. Is it going to be a danger to our animals or one of us? Definitely something we got to figure out.